Well, in part, the previous answer was going in that direction. Yes, it could, but I don't think that most of of the work that has been done does that. There is a lot of work that actually is not so much directed to that results. And clearly, part is due to the fact that the research agenda of some people is very far away from concrete problems that affect welfare of millions of people. In other cases, it is because people tend to be slave of the elegance, of the formalism of some models, and that even if they try to address relevant issues, they seem to be induced to fly away from the type of solution that and also of predictions that would be most useful. I can make some example there as well if you like. I think it's a minority of research results that are really going in the direction of serving the common good. And often these are very small things. I wouldn't be considering huge innovations, but these are incremental innovation. Just understand a bit better a small thing. We provide a suggestion on how to improve a small detail of a policy. There, I think there is really a way for economists to serve the common good. If you want to provide the beautiful model encompassing and explaining the world economy, then we are bound to fail. If you think about the two most recent crises, think about the financial crisis. Almost every economist working on finance and growth was predicting that globalization would have been very useful and would have been stabilizing economies, would have been creating resilience in our economies because of a principle of risk diversification and missing markets would have increased the efficiency of economic systems. Well, it turned out there are very few exceptions, like Raghu, Rajan, and others who were warning about the risk of strong integration in financial markets and many bad incentives that were present at that level and so on and so forth. But most of the profession was instead thinking about that the globalization cum financial deepening was a way to make our economies more resilient. And well, it turned out that globalization was certainly a factor behind the global financial crisis, and was rather than playing a good role, it played a role of extending very rapidly the contagion and leading to a very heavy world crisis. Another example is with the pandemic. There was a model that was quite popular because it had been working pretty well in understanding the output fall in transition economies. It's a model of disorganization developed by Olivier Blanchard and Michael Kramer. And this was used at the beginning of a pandemic to state that we would have mass trade disruption associated to the pandemic, associated to the fact that there was a breaking of value chains, and firms would have not been able to get the intermediate product requiring production, and that would have led to a massive output fall, collapse of world trade, and all of these type of things. All of this did not materialize at all. Firms were pretty able to substitute and replace output, and that model was extremely simplifying something which is way more complicated by using very restrictive technologies description, like Leontief type of technology, not allowing for any type of substitution across inputs. So this is to tell you that when you pursue elegance and you use clearly simplification to model things that are extremely complex, at the end of the day, you like so much this model that you tend to exchange the models for the reality. And that leads you to think in a way that could be as misleading as the way of thinking of a lay person that I was mentioning at the outset. So I think that rather than thinking about having this huge innovation, this radical innovation, we should be more humble also in this respect and think about small incremental innovation, looking very carefully at the issues, looking very carefully at the issues, looking very carefully at the policies, at the details, at the institutional features, and providing small suggestion on how to slightly improve matters. That I think is the way to proceed.